guys, and welcome to a new series on my channel called Meeples, Cards, and Thimbles. And what we're going to be doing here today, we are going to be looking at Marvel Uno Ultimate. And we will also be doing other card games, board games, what have you, uncommon games and the like. But today, we are focusing on a recent new favorite of mine, Marvel Uno Ultimate. How does this work? Is it Uno or is it something completely different? Well, it is like Uno, but it's got a little spice. This is the original core expansion, core deck, not expansion, and you had 4 superheroes: Black Panther, Iron Man, Thor, and Captain Marvel. And you would play Uno normally, but instead of having one giant pile for all your cards, you have a character deck, and I will get into that in a moment. And there are 2 ways you can win, and I will explain in further detail what the second way to win is in a bit. But the first win is Uno. You have 7 cards in your hand, you go down to 1, boom, you call Uno before anybody else, and you win. That is the game. Now let us get into it. I've already pulled it out here. This is the Captain Marvel. Let me zoom in here. This is the Captain Marvel character deck. And the way the game works is that you have a character card. And this character card is Captain Marvel. Cosmic Energy. Once per turn, before you play a card, you may add 1 more card to your hand and change the active color to a color of your choice. So let's say your hand is filled all with blue and it's currently red. You can use Captain Marvel's ability once per turn and pull a card from the top of your character deck, and then you can change the color from red to blue to green to yellow, whatever you want. And it's sort of like having a wild card, but for yourself. And that is the character card. This card stays with you. It doesn't go in the deck, nothing. And then you have your normal deck, okay? And this deck is sort of like your regular deck, where you have your green 3s. Let me pull that down here. You have your green 3s, you have your cancels, you have your 4s, you have your wilds, and so on and so forth. But, if you are observant, you'll notice that this card, although it is a wild, is not normal. So this is Cosmic Fusion. And what Cosmic Fusion does is if you play it on top of another wild card, you may play again. So let's say the person before you, the person you're left or right, depending on how the game is going, played a wild card and changed it to green. You can then go, I'm playing this wild card, Cosmic Fusion, and that basically means that I get to play again and I'm choosing blue. And then you can play your blue too. Now, speaking of blue twos, there is a weird symbol on the top left and bottom right of this card. You've never seen it before. So basically what this means is all players have their character deck. They also have about, I think, 7 to 10, depending on the character, event cards. These are event cards. They are shown with the exclamation point. And you, depending on how many people play, the game recommends 2 to 4. But because each character deck is different and it's a different character, I don't see the problem with going to 6, 8, 10, depending on how many people you want to play. You can even play a huge tournament. And so everybody takes their event cards and shuffles them up. But don't worry, you won't lose them because there are symbols at the top. There are symbols at the top that show you which ones are yours and which ones are Iron Man's, Black Panther's, Thor's, what have you. So basically there are 2 types of event cards. There are villain cards and there are event cards. And we are now going to get into what these cards are and what they do. So when you play your blue 2, or any card that has the event, you flip over the top card in the event deck. And let's start with villains. So you flip it over, and when you flip it over, there is immediate activation. It is called when flipped. And this says burn 2 cards. Now, burning cards basically means that when you have your character deck, and it says burn 2 cards, or burn 3 cards, or burn a card, what have you, you take the top 2 cards of your deck, you flip them over, and you put them to the next of your deck like a discard pile. And you don't get those cards back unless you have a card that gives you those cards back. And this is coming to the second win condition. The second win condition is you are the last person in the game to have cards in your character deck. So if the game has been going on for an hour and there's no signs of stopping, however, John, Mary, and Paul all have 3 cards in their deck, but you have 7 cards in your deck, all you have to do is wait out those 3 turns and you can claim your victorious win against the foes of your enemies. And getting back to villains, so when you pull a villain card, you do the activation when flipped. Then what you do is that card becomes yours, and it stays yours until you pull another villain or you defeat and vanquish your villain. And right now, while you have your villain, the villain is always attacking you. And so Ronan is currently attacking me. And it says, if you make someone add or draw cards, you must do the same. So let's say I tell Mary and I make her draw +4. I am also drawing +4. And the only way to defeat this card is by playing a wild, which is shown right here at the very end. Right here. Now each villain is different. Each villain has different things, like you can see here. We have Supreme Intelligence. When flipped, burn 1 card for each enemy in play. And when you change the active color, burn 2 cards. So Supreme Intelligence is actually quite worse, because if you use Captain Marvel's effect to change a card, you're not only adding cards to your hand, but you're also burning cards. So that might not be a great card to keep as a villain on the board. You might want to get rid of that really quickly. But the other type of event cards, we have here, I'll show you 2 of them here. We have event cards. And event cards affect you unless it says otherwise. Same with villain cards. When flipped, villain cards can affect everybody or just you. Now this one is setback. Add a card. Not too bad. Just add 1 card. And plan ahead says burn 1 card from your hand unless it's that last card. So you can't lose the game by pulling an event card. However, it does take to the point that if you only have 1 card left, maybe you really need to think about how you're playing the game and strategize against your enemies and your fellow compatriot heroes to try and claim victory over Marvel Uno Ultimate. Now, what I'm going to talk about is something I think that's a really cool, unique idea to this game. As you can see here, it says 4 chase foil cards inside. And basically what that means is you can pull foil chase cards of different rarities from the game, and they could be for any character deck. Luckily, when I picked this up at Goodwill for $3, 2 of the chase cards, one was Scarlet Witch and one was Doctor Strange, but the other 2 cards were for Captain Marvel, and I was pleasantly surprised. So you have the normal version, higher, further, faster, and you have the normal version of Cosmic Fusion. However, I believe these are uncommon or rare. These are the full art versions of those cards. And that basically means that they are just cooler. Sometimes they're worth a little more, sometimes they're worth a little less. And finally, I'm going to show you what I think is the coolest addition to Marvel Uno Ultimate, and we will get into it right now. Speaking of foil cards, now this is, if I can just focus up here. Now this is Marvel Uno Ultimate Comic-Con 2023 edition, featuring Spider-Man 2099 and Venom. We have a really nice slip cover. We have the front showing Spider-Man 2099, and if we look on the back, it shows Spider-Man 2099 and Venom. So what's different about this? Well, like in the core deck and all of the add-on packs, there's no chase foils in this version. Now, I know you might be a little bummed, but hold on, let me get there. What's cool about this is that every card in this version is foil. And I'm not joking. So let's zoom in here. As you can see, every single card is alternate art and foil. Every single card. Even the cards that make it useful. And I think that's a really cool addition. I think that's something unique that cards don't necessarily do. And even the villain cards are full arts. You have Carnage, Anti-Venom, Scream, Oxen, and even the event cards are foil. So I think that's really cool. I think that's a really cool addition. And to keep it a surprise, I won't show Spider-Man 2099. And if you like this game and you would like to play it, you can go ahead and pick it up for yourself and surprise yourself with a cool little thing. And yeah, I think that will about do it for Marvel Uno Ultimate. You can pick it up at any local game store, or a Walmart or a Target or Amazon, even Five Below. I just picked up some $5 add-on packs, and they recently came out with the DC version and some add-on packs for the DC version. And all the DC is compatible with Marvel and vice versa. So thank you so much for watching the first iteration of this series. I hope to improve it as the videos go on. If you have any constructive criticism, or if you would change things, or if you liked this game in general and you pick it up for yourself, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this game and what you thought of this series. I am very open to criticism, and I'd like to make this a reality for me. So yeah, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next vlog or card game, board game review. Have a good one. Peace.